Can you imagine if I was using my 32 megapixel camera?
Jesus Christ.
You could have take me up and put one side. So why did I use it? What's the problem with it though?
And just using
the camera setting was okay.
No. Did you realize some that is reset this camera?
Why you reset it? What you set it on?
Reset the camera. Reset the camera. Reset the camera.
To what?
Reset the camera. Alright, there we go.
To what? To what? Why you reset my camera to?
Oh, no, I've changed the profile.
Where you change it to?
You change the profile to like the desaturation and all that stuff there.
Why you change the desaturation?
Because I'll color grade it later.
You put it back to me.
No. So make it so easy. Make it so easy. I'll just click one button and change back. But for that camera, it's different because the camera there has something called log. Log file, but I couldn't find it.
To put it on desaturation?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything different with the camera because I couldn't even find the portrait section because me shoot my picture them in a portrait mode.
Yeah.
I mean, I search for it till Jesus come. And it's in another folder to another folder. That folder, the camera there folder in a folder. I'm like, not that they just go and find it.
Yeah, it's just like every time they make a new camera, it's like they get this, they try to upgrade the inside of it. I don't know what they try like.
And then I put folder in a folder and folder in a folder.
Like, why don't people make things a little bit more easier? Like, if I'm gonna make cameras, aren't you gonna make a camera like really easy to use? So
no, but the thing is that the difference between is that because they have so much compact in it, and the price is more, they have to add more quality.
Our perceived quality, which one? More
quality, you have to have more. It's just like more advanced settings, just like iPhone. The higher the iPhone get, the more technology or update, the more you know that you can use the iPhone to do all kind of foolishness. It come with an ISO and all these
cinematic mode.
Cinematic mode, you can change that. Even the aperture. iPhone come with an aperture now.
Yeah, for the portrait mode.
Yeah. And the refresh mode, like the refresh
But got a question. I have a question. You shoot video for the church sometime, right? Do you ever think about using your iPhone 15 to do the?
No, I remember my iPhone. I mean, the other one before the 15 one, iPhone
14.
14.
I think it's the 14 Plus Pro or 14 Pro.
14 Plus. No, me use the iPhone. Me use the iPhone to shoot just like a little snapshot. That's all.
Yeah.
But it cannot just compare the quality to the camera, so it's just like wasting my time taking videos with my iPhone.
Why all of a sudden you just get up and decide that I'm gonna start shooting videos for the church? Where that come from?
Oh, to be honest, I've been doing videography since back in Jamaica. I've been doing videography back in Jamaica. From back in Jamaica, I've been shooting pictures. It's like a therapy. It's like a therapy. It's just like a literally a therapy.
Where was I when you were doing this?
You're a baby.
Okay.
I was taking care of you.
So wait. Right. So if I'm remembering, I remember that you used to work at a post office, right?
Yeah.
So where were you shooting videos at that time? Where was I? Like, I was that
I've
small.
been taking pictures. Like, I used to have my little camera, dog. I used to have my little camera, and they're like,
oh, you know what? I remember some little pocket camera.
Yeah, I look at some little cameras, especially the red one. So I used to take.
I remember that red one. I used to carry to the beach shooters.
Yes, right? Exactly. Yeah. So, like, for graduation, Chris would be like, oh, can you come and take some picture for me and everything. So it's just, it's calming. It's like a therapy, like. Taking the picture, downloading into the computer, looking at the resolution, looking at the pixel, the metapixel and everything, all the pictures just popped and everything. That's what I love about it.
You know what's funny? Like, I never knew you used to do all of that back in Jamaica because I was, like you said, I was young, right? But now looking back at it, you're like, wait a minute. No, because now you have certain knowledge in your mind. You're like, oh my god, that's what was happening back then. You know what I mean? Like, no, you know, you have
You seen
more
that little
clarity.
red box in my hand? You was
Yeah,
like,
like-
wonder what is that? Why she
Yeah,
taking
like-
picture?
Like when I was a kid, all I want to do is go to the beach and have fun. You know what I mean? I know, and that's another thing too. Like when you're a kid, you're so free. You go to the beach and you just try to have fun with your family or friends, right? You just want to live in the moment. But now, like we have this social construct, like this mask that we have to put up in society now. We have to be an adult. We're not even creative anymore, right? Because we're trying not to be childish. And I think that for us to be free, we have to become more in tune with our inner child to be more creative.
But that's the thing with me. Like, were you saying that you are not you can't be a child anymore? But I have a child personality.
Yeah.
So I actually like love being around kids. Kids is my own thing. I always meet kids on their level. So
Fix the camera. Yes.
so I don't know what you're talking about. Like, oh, you don't get to be a child anymore. You choose not to be a child. Because I have a child personality. And with a child personality, there's so much you can explore. You become creative.
Hey, if you have to really think about it, where do you think creativity come from in the first place?
Creativity come from, I don't know. Like with me now, I just vision things and create it. So I would normally like close my eyes and said, okay, I want it like this. Then I create it. I never think like it is impossible. So I vision it and then I create it.
Is that a way of manifesting?
It's just, yeah, just like, oh, you say, it's just like asking God for a vision. So it's just like, to me, it's the same thing. Like God give you this gift. It's just for you to execute it. It's already there.
Yeah.
It is already there.
Yeah.
So if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. You understand?
Yeah.
So with me, I'm like, I'm going to vision it. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to do it. So if I'm going to paint my house, I'm going to close my eyes first. And while closing my eyes, I'm visioning the different shades. As if I'm actually looking at the wall, even though my eyes are closed.
So that's how you design this
Yes,
set?
yes. So that's how I design, and that's how I come up with my different color shades of painting. That's how I become creative, especially with my in photography and everything. Yeah. So I vision it and I do it.
You ever so you know that in the book of Ecclesiastes it's saying that there's nothing new underneath the sun, right? And I was reading like a little passage in a book the other day that talking about creativity, the same subject, right? And they're saying like creativity is nothing new. Like if you see a plane is a combination of a bird and mechanics, right? So it's like creativity is putting a spear and 4 legs together, and then there we go, we got a table or whatever the case may be, is forming shapes together, putting 2 different stuff together to make a new stuff. So but it's not new, but everything's merging. It's like they're saying creativity is more like you putting stuff together. I think that's a very accurate statement, you know what I mean?
But eventually, if creativity is new, you're going to create it. Think about it. It has to be coming from somewhere, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
That makes so much that makes so much sense.
That's why I always tell kids, look around you, observe the environment and everything, and then create it. That's where creative comes from, but it's already there.
Already there.
Creativity is not new. So eventually when a company come up with a new pattern, right? Or they create something new. They see something out there and they just add something to it. Voila, I create a new product.
So they basically merge 2 different ideas together, but ideas was already there.
Exactly.
That makes so much more sense.
Come on, God already create the earth, right? So and God create us. So if creativity is new, how could we create it?
You know what I want to talk about? I really want to talk about your non-profit stuff. What's up with that? Why did you start it? What's the angle? What's the vision? What's up with it?
As I said, I have a child personality. So as a child growing up, I always like looking on things differently, because people think that I'm weird. So I always look at things differently. So
But the real question is, do you think you're weird?
I'm gifted. I'm special. I'm unique. Okay, so this is me. I love myself, and once you love yourself, everything is okay. Everything is possible.
Well, yo, I gotta stop you right there. You know why? You ever heard of Dr. Miles Monroe? He's a pastor, right? He has videos online where he's preaching and stuff. And he was saying in the passage, I said, love your neighbor as you love yourself, right? Meaning that you have to love yourself first to love your neighbor. Because if you have to love your neighbor as you love yourself, that's saying in advance that you already love yourself. Does that make sense? So most people who don't love themselves don't even know how to love their neighbor.
And this is where my nonprofit comes in, because I learned to love myself first, right? Just like how God loved us. So you have to love God love us, so you have to love yourself. Okay, now earlier you were talking about personality and creativity and everything like that, and I said loving myself, right? So I love myself because I think I'm unique. People think I'm weird. I think I'm creative, you know, and I don't really care what others think of me, because I am Trisha. God loves me. God loves me, and I love myself because God loves me for who I am, and I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So this is where my nonprofit comes in, because you have to love yourself to love others. So my nonprofit come in, Trisalco Innovation Foundation. The innovation is coming from innovative thinking, and innovative thinking is that you're always thinking different than other. You think of different ideas. You come up with different ideas. You think outside of the box. So, so I end up, like, when I was 16, I always said I was gonna adopt kids, right? So when I come to the United States, I go ahead and adopt kids. And they're special needs kids. So I was an accountant, and then I started being an accountant. I have my master's in accounting, then I changed over to become a behavioral therapist. And
why that transition?
And then I also get my master's in psychology, because I have special needs kids in my house. So I want to know how they think, how their behaviors, you know. So psychology help you think about, you know, getting the person's mind, you know, think about the person, understand their psychological needs and everything. From a behavioral perspective, you learn about their behaviors, the pattern. Because yesterday parenting is totally different from today parenting. So yesterday parenting, we're talking about spanking and reprimand and all these things. Today you can't reprimand kids because they're still going to do the same thing. And that's why they consider special needs kids. Most special needs kids are like kids with Down syndrome, ADHD, you know, ODD, and so on, autistic. So I love those type of kids. And this is where Trisalco Innovation Foundation comes in. Because I want to create a safe haven for them. I want to build a school just for special need kids, that, like, especially for autistic kids, Down syndrome, so that they grow there, like they start from like an early age, kindergarten, third grade, you know, until they become like an adult. I teach them living skills. So I'm looking like to start from small and expand so that they can learn living skills, essential living skills, to prepare them for the community, prepare them. Because some, if you walk into a certain store right now, you have some kids with autistic, and they're cashier, they work as cashier, a back person, or so on. So with my organization, it will help them, I'll prepare them to do those stuff, to communicate with people, because behaviors are learned. Right? So you're going to input new behaviors in them. So you're going to train them. Just like you train a dog. Just like you train, cut that part. Just like when you train a baby to walk. Cut the dog part. Just like when you train a baby to walk, right?
Yeah.
The same thing with special need kids, it takes time. So you have to be really soft with them. You have to be compassionate. You have to be, diligent. You have to be, all of this with them. So this is where you have to come in. You have to love yourself first. So even if you're ugly, if you're fat, if you think that, you don't you don't speak proper English, you don't speak, you're not all that. You're not popular. If you don't love yourself, you cannot prepare yourself to take care of these kids or help these kids, groom them in the way they should go to prepare for society. So, and to interact in society as well, in your community, develop socially.
You know what? I have something to say about that because I think if you think that you're ugly or fat, those are things you can actually improve on. First, you need to improve on your self-image, which is your limited belief, right? You need to fix your self-image. And then, second, if you're fat, I think you can control your weight. Unless you have some sort of sickness, there's no excuse.
But that's what the thing is. We're living in a society right now where people don't have time to think about adjusting my personality. They fall in depression easily. Because that's the society we're living in right now. Because there's so much influences out there. So people are taking the easier way out. All right, for instance, with me, I'm insulin resistant, right? And I've been like overweight for like a couple of years now.
What do you classify as overweight?
Like 180 pounds. Because based on the doctor's recommendation, based on my height, I should be 130 pounds. You understand? So 180 pounds, I'm obese. And that's not healthy.
What's your height?
5'3".
Imagine you playing basketball. What would you score?
So I'm just showing you something, right? So I pay for a trainer, I go to the gym, I diet, and I never lose a pound. It's just like I keep gaining weight. Oh, I eat fruits and everything. I do everything by the book, right? And nothing changes. But in real life, some people would do what? Wouldn't care, they start eating more. You will watch the 600-pound life. These are the things that cause them to, if you watch it, they're like, oh, I'm trying to lose weight, I give up. And, this is depression.
Okay.
So like situation like that now, but with me, I keep pressing on. And then I try different things. I change my eating habits. I eat in proportion and not diet. I fast because I'm on a different mission. So I fast in the morning, do my Bibles and everything, listen to my...
Okay, Miss Annalise, I got a question for you now, right? You're talking about training and stuff like that when it comes down to like reprogramming the subconscious mind, right? My question is, how can you retrain a lazy person who have 34 years of being lazy? Okay, you help those people. Okay, reprogram the bad behavior of someone who's losing just a little bit of weight. They see a little bit of progress, and because they're not seeing it in the following week, they just revamp. They just relapse.
But my philosophy is this, right? Is that a person cannot change unless they want to be changed. So with me, I could like,
I think they want to be changed.
No, but that's what I'm saying. With me, I would like, I give up. I'm just going to continue staying fat and eat. I don't care what the doctors said or anything like that. You understand? But I still find other ways to work on it and see, I can lose the weight. Because I need it. It's not want.
So I
need it.
Okay, there's a difference.
Yeah. So you have to need it, not want it. You have to need to lose weight. You have to really want to lose weight to lose weight. You have to, just like a child, you could have like sent them to school and you better come on with that A. No, if that child doesn't really want, if you don't motivate that child to get that A not going to come home. So if that child doesn't know that, hey, I'm going to get a Nintendo, and then at the end of the grading period, you ain't going to bring an A home. So the person have to really need something for them to go at it.
Talk about you as a mom. What do your kids love most about you?
Me? because I'm
Like based on their actions and their reaction and stuff, like like
oh my.
what are their favorite thing about you?
They always like, "Mommy, I love you." Every minute they're like, "Mommy, I love you." Why you love me? Because you take care of us. You're always there. So yeah, my kids are special needs kids, and it takes a lot of me. Sometimes I get exhausted. I have sleepless night, even though they're like, how much now? At what age now? They're like 7 years old, 7 years old, 6 years old, and 9 years old. I got them since they were like 2 years old and 4 years old, and I'm still exhausted because I still have sleepless night because they require extra attention. They require extra care. They require everything extra work. I have to sit with them. I have to be studying. I attend, at one point I was attending to university, and I had to be, and working, and still I had to be studying with them, so that they can become better at themselves.
But you like, so the average parent, right? Most people don't understand what it's like to be a parent. Not in the sense that they're not a parent, they're a parent by biology because they have a kid, right? But they never got a playbook because they're not the ideal human being that they want to be. They're not the ideal character because like you're trying to grow your kid. Your job as a dad or a mom is basically to make sure that they can fend for themselves. So by the time they reach an age to become a young adult ready to take on the world, they're very equipped with the knowledge and the common sense to go do what they need to do, right? But most people like that. What would you say is the pillars to like getting into the groove of learning to get your kid getting ready to become a young adult? What would you say a parent need to do to grow their kid the right way?
There's a right and wrong way to parenting, because there's no cookbook. There's no one recipe. Because you can like, okay, I'm gonna grow my child this way, and then I like, okay, I'm gonna mimic you and your child come out totally different from mine. It's just trial and error. This is me, trial and error, because I do trial and error a lot with my kids. Literally, I do trial and error a lot with my kids, because this procedure, control their behaviors. And within a month or so, that procedure doesn't work anymore. Because I do point system, I do reinforcer, because I'm a behavioral therapist. So I kind of use this thing as in my home as a type of parenting, because as I mentioned before, yesterday kids are not like today kids. Today kids are totally different. You have to come up with different way. You have to come up with reinforcer. You have to encourage them. You have to motivate them to work today. Today kids are totally different.
You know what?
Remember, back in Jamaica, it's just spanking you. You better get it correct. Hey, you go to school and come home. Hey, you get.
I wouldn't say that's parenting though.
What do you call that then?
Huh?
That's considered parenting.
No.
It's a third world country.
I don't exactly. It's third world mindset as well. But I think that is that Casey, most parents, quote unquote parents, they have this mentality: do as I say, not do as I say, not as I do, right? And that's a totally flawed mentality, because as human beings, we copy people and their behaviors. So if you see someone,
as I said, behaviors are learned.
Exactly, that's what we see and we adapt, right? So you can tell me not to do something, and then you go ahead and do it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And that's the thing. And that's the artist thing, because at one point I used to use the word, shut up, don't say, shut up. My kid go to school and said to one of her classmates, shut up. The teacher called me like, oh, your child just telling another child. I'm like, oh my God, that's my fault. So now I have to like find more appropriate words to use in my home. And it's really hard. But you have to situate yourself. You have to program yourself to use appropriate words around kids in your home. It's hard. It's not easy. Parenting is not, whether you bio or not, blood doesn't make a big difference. Whether you bio, whether it's a biological child or an adoptive child.
Don't you think give me at least a little bit?
No, because my kids, they don't treat me no different other than mommy and dad. Mommy and dad, they don't treat us any different. There's no second different. They, oh my God, they love on me, they squeeze me, they do everything. They don't even, they know that they're adopted. They don't even think about that. They don't care. They just look at us as mommy and daddy. That's all. And mommy and daddy, always there for them. A child just need comfort, loved and warmth. You understand? Once they're getting that, you're daddy and mommy, because that's what a child want. That's what a child yearn for. A child needs it,
And that's what a mommy and daddy do.
and that's what a mommy and daddy does.
Yeah. Like,
I don't put limit on my life. I don't put limit on my lifestyle. I don't put limit on education. I don't, because I have like 3 masters and going up and open to start my I'm open to start my doctorate in psychology.
why 3?
Why 3 masters? Because when I was growing up, I always want to be an accountant. And so I go ahead and get my bachelor's in business accounting, then get my master's in accounting. Then I start fostering and then move on to adapting. So that's when I move on to other masters. So my master's in psychology and master's in behavioral analyst. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if I want something, I'm going after it. I'm a risk taker. I'm the person who dive head on.
And do you have like a friend group, a circle group who kind of, what would say like really support that side of you? Like, do you have a like
It's really hard to find
diverse?
people who support my goal and my dream, because I'm a person always on my computer. If I'm not creating a website, I'm doing some type of something in my camera, fixing my camera, or doing some fixing some image, adjusting image, because these are things. And if I'm not doing that, I'm painting my room, painting my house, rearranging my house or something, or not. And the kids, I'm in the computer finding some lesson plan for them, creating lesson plan for them, as if because they have their own little classroom here. So I'm always doing something that other people would care about doing. So people at my level mostly would be probably out having a meal or a drink with someone or something like that, while I'm doing something different. Like, hey, can you come to the gym? Like, I'm busy doing this though. Because one of the things is that I have 4 kids and they are special needs, and it takes a lot. So it's really hard for me to have friends. It's really hard for me to do anything extra outside of the house. So once I leave work, I have to come home.
Okay, let's talk about that. Friends. How healthy is it to have good friends around you and stuff like that? A social circle.
I really wouldn't know, and I don't know, because I never have none of that.
What about your professional expertise on the topic? What would you think that the benefits of having a friend, a circle that validate the side of you?
Sometimes it's good to have friends to vent to, but at the end of the day, it's not a requirement, because this, as I said, everyone has flaw. Because I used to struggle with fitting in, and I used to fall in depression because of that. Because every time I find friends or find a circle, I want to fit in, but they already have their circle, they already have their friend. So you're always going to feel like you're back at high school again. So they're the popular kids, and you're the one on the outskirts trying to, fit in. You understand? And that is like a trauma, like from back in school, because I always want to fit in. But I'm the one who always I wasn't the best. I wasn't the best dressing child going to school. So I never fit in. I never fit in the circle at school. So as I get older, right, and I find friends and see circles and everything, I want to fit in the same way. And it's the same thing. It's just like I start feeling like high school all over again. Like I'm kicking to the curb, So I'm like, And it causes a lot of depression, it causes trauma, it causes low self-esteem. If it make you feel like you're not good enough, you're not fit enough to, you're not in their category and everything like that. So I had to start remind myself. I have to start remind myself. Where I used to tell my smaller sister when her cousin used to beat on her, I want to fight her. And I'm like, listen, tell them that they don't fit in your category. And I'm like, if I can tell her that, I need to start telling myself that, because I think I'm really awesome. I think I'm creative, and I think I can, and I'm educated, and I think I can take that time and do something more positive with my life instead of sit down, feel less of myself, feel fall into depressive falling into depression symptoms and everything like that.
Don't you think that's a buzzword, depression? Everyone is depression, like,
because it's the moral of society now. Even small kids like, I'm depressed. Come on.
It doesn't even have meaning anymore.
My 13-year-old sister says she's depressed every minute. And she not paying bills. She's not, she not buying clothes for herself. She's not buying food, and she's depressed. It's just society is now. It's a society for you.
But the thing is, right, if you have like little kids saying that, right, don't you think it's the fault of the parents to let that influence into their own when they're the ones supposed to be covering the information that comes?
And keep saying, you cannot blame parents for parenting. No, you cannot blame parents. Because you have some parents who put out their best effort to train a child in the way they should grow. And when that child leaves your home, their behaviors change.
All right, I'm all down for the parent who put out their best to raise the kid.
But that's the thing now. When you see a child out there now, remember, a parent train a child in the way they should grow, and you see that child out there now misbehaving and everything, the first thing going to come to your mind is that that parent is a bad parent. But you know that that child was trained properly.
You know what? I think people like try to look at the minority, right? Because this is what I truly think. I'm not a parent. I have no I'm not qualified to even make a statement about stuff like this, right? But
you just did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But based off my assessment as a person, right, as an individual, my personal opinion would be like, if you're trying your best to grow the kid a certain way and they still end up bad, okay, I get it. You did your best, right? But if you're not doing your best and they still end up bad, those are the people I'm talking about, and those are the majority. Most of the majority not putting their best foot forward as we think. And the second thing, because...
But did you start to find out why they didn't put their best foot forward? Remember, as I mentioned to you again, kids are different today. There are a lot of kids in the foster system, right? And they get taken away from their parents. It's not because they're bad parenting. It's just that they're not capable, they're not built to deal with certain situation, and they're not built to deal with certain situation. So that's why they turn to, most of these kids are exposed to drugs in the foster system, and they're because of the. It's not because,
but that's bad parenting.
But it was. I wouldn't consider. All right, and this is why I study. This is why I study psychology. This is why I study behavioral, right? Because you have to learn to have empathy from people. You cannot just get up and just judge them because their kids end up in the foster system because they're bad parenting. Because if you check back on some of these kids that got taken away from their parents, they're drug abusers, they're falling some type of depression and everything. But the thing is that these are coming from generation to generation because their parents did not learn to cope with certain situations. Their parents didn't learn to cope with it. So you cannot blame humanity. So you cannot just get up and blame people because they're bad parenting.
All right, so the thing is, right, this is what I'm trying to get at, right? You can look at the fact and say, okay, this parent this parent who can't be a parent because they don't have the skills or the mindset required is coming from their parent as well. Just like how you think it's a
But
generational wealth.
it's not, and you need to understand.
They were programmed just like how they're programming
And
their kids.
I did not say that they're being bad parenting. I said they're unable to cope. Get it correct. They're unable to cope.
So what does
They
that
don't
mean?
have the patience to deal with a child. So they lashed out on the child because they're as I said, we use this a lot, depressed. Right? A child start crying. They're gonna start lashed out. They don't want to deal with it because they don't have the patience. They don't have the time to cope. Because growing a child takes patience. It takes a lot of prayer, a lot of praying. So growing a child, the number one thing you need in life is patience.
How does that affect your life in any way, church? And you're being a mother. How does that affect you? How does that enhance your...
Listen,
What's the effect of that?
I play many role. I teach. I'm a therapist. I sing on the praise team. I am a videographer at church. I'm a parent at home. And I come home from school and teach my kids them again. A mother, a wife. So I play many roles. And that builds me. It makes me stronger.
And how does the church add to that?
Oh, the church add to it?
Yeah. Like the perspective you get from going to church and reading your Bible.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I love church. Because I love God. Because I have a rough childhood growing up, and it's kind of a bit traumatizing at times. But when I look back now, I'm like, I never get in trouble with the law or get in trouble in any bad way. I wasn't abused or anything by anyone on the street. I looked back, and now I think about when I think I was walking all by myself and I only see one set of footprints in the sand. It was God who was carrying me all along. So I'm a believer of faith because I wrote my first letter to God when I was in high school. So when I wrote my first letter to God when I was in high school,
Do you remember it?
by the time I reached 23, I was all of that 26 fully. Everything that I wrote to God was fulfilled. So I'm a person of faith, and I never give up on God. So I love church. I love to worship. It's a different experience. It's just like giving it all to God. When you stress or anything, when I go to church, I leave it all there. I don't remember anything. I don't think about anything at all when I'm at church.
Do you remember that story that you wrote to God?
I'm living it.
You're living it? So are you going to write any more story to
Yeah,
God?
I'm about to write another letter to God.
Okay, what's the structure of the letter? What does that letter look like?
Just write and tell God what you want. He said, the Bible says, ask and you shall receive.
So you're
Knock on the door, you shall open.
Okay, so you're one of those type of people who say, okay, listen, I asked God for it. Now I'm just going to believe that my prayer is answered and just forget about the prayer and start acting as if it happened already.
Yeah. So what happened is that I actually forgot about the book. So when I came to the United States of America, my sister found it like, oh my God, Trish, I can't believe it. Everything you wrote in the book came through. I'm like, yeah, I know. But I didn't remember the book. Because it's just like when a prophet tell you something, right? Like with me, when prophet talk, it's just a confirmation for me. Because I'm a believer of God. I have faith in God. It's just like things are showing to me in visions. So I actually see what's coming next. Actually know what, this is me. Okay, I know, I can feel it. What's going to happen next, the next step to this and everything. When it come on to my life, my finance and everything. You understand? It's just like he prepared me, right? He always preparing me. He always ahead of me. So when I said I'm a risk taker, that's what I meant. I don't hesitate if it's not going to affect me, I doesn't hesitate because it's God talking. You understand? So if it's for me, something presents itself for me to move, I'm going to go at it because it's God talking. Because some people hesitate and miss out on their blessing. And because I never hesitate, I never miss out on any of my blessing. So I need that. I'm gonna go off it.
So do you think that after we pray to God and like asking for this big thing that we want, do you think we should just let go and stop obsess about it? Like,
I'm not saying that.
wait, but do you understand the question that I asked?
Yeah,
right?
I'm not saying that when you pray about something, you just leave it there. You pray about it and you put it aside, then you start working on it.
Because it's gonna come true.
Because some people believe that, oh, while growing up, I used to think the same thing. It's like, oh, like God will provide, and God will provide. But we sit down here waiting for God to provide. Because that's what we believe as a child, that God's going to provide. But if you don't work for it, how are you going to get it? Back again to the prophet. A lot of people doesn't believe in prophet because they're like, oh, the prophet said I'm going to make $100,000. But okay, the prophet gives you the message that he got, right? But if you don't work for it, how are you going to get it? The prophet is saying that you're capable, or you're capable of making that $100,000. But if you don't work for it, how are you going to get that $100,000? God's not going to come down and give you that $100,000. No. So how are you going to pray for something and just leave it there? Yeah, you're going to take your burden to the Lord and leave it there, but you're going to work. You're taking off that burden and put it down, but you're going to work towards it.
So the mentality, the conviction you get from
and that's
believing.
my opinion. That's my opinion. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. So I don't want no one to hold me against that. But that's my opinion. That's how I view things.
So basically, you're saying the conviction you get from the belief that your prayers is answered, you're just gonna have the complete confidence in the action that you're gonna be taking moving forward, knowing that any adversity you reach is just that's a test.
Yeah,
you know it's gonna already come.
Yeah, you're capable of doing it. So they're telling you you're capable of doing it. You have all the tools and resources you need to make that $100,000. You need to go at it. You need to work harder.
Self-image. Let's talk about self-image. How does someone change their self-image or optimize their self-image? Because I think you can't outwork your self-image, right? Because a lot of people want to be great in life, right? But if you don't believe that you're someone like at that level, I don't think you can like truly be great or manifest the things that you want.
But God already made us great. It's just that it's our human nature thinks that we're not great.
Do you think we're already perfect?
We're already perfect. We are already perfect.
Yeah.
God made us perfect. But it's our human nature things that make us think that we're fat, we're ugly, we're less, we are self-esteem.
But don't you think that's why we're perfect?
Huh?
Don't you think that's why we're perfect? Because of our imperfections? Think about it.
If you do a survey tomorrow, you need to tell me. You tell me how many individuals within the world thinks that they're perfect. I guarantee you get 10%.
Well, most of them are narcissists anyway. So,
don't.
That's like a disorder.
But that's what I'm saying. Our human nature tells us that we're not perfect. In which, in God's eyes, we're perfect. In His image, we're perfect. He made us in His image, so we're perfect.
Now,
in God's eyes, we're perfect because He made us in His image.
Okay, cool. Let me ask you, how would you close off this show?
The only thing I have to say is that people with low self-esteem should learn to love themselves more and accept themselves for who they are. By starting off, look into the mirror and, believe that God loves us. God loves us for who we are. So we need to love ourselves, no matter how we look, no matter what people think of us. Because at the end of the day, we have to learn to choose ourselves over other people, other than choosing God first.
And that's how we
need to choose God first, then ourselves. And, I used to do a little motivation speech at Agape. Agape is a center for recover addicts. And I used to go over there and I used to tell them, like, listen, I wasn't perfect. I consider myself perfect, literally. And I said to them, I was almost like you guys. Almost. When I used to go to primary school, I used to skip school. I used to go to the river. I used to go and cook. And I used to burn weed. So I'm like, yeah, not because, I didn't turn to drugs fully, but I used to do almost the same thing you guys used to doing, I'm not perfect, but I become perfect because I grew my own self-image. I believe in God. I look in the glass every day and say, I love myself. I love myself. I chose me. I chose me. And I repeat that every day when I get up until I become that person who get up every day and love myself.